Hello YouTube, welcome to Formula 1 2017. Here we are for the EWRL Season 3 Formula 1 Russian Grand Prix. Russia is a newly repaved track, very fast, no tire wear like whatsoever. These drivers only have to pit once unless it's for damage or punctures. But for strategy itself, literally one pit stop only has to be taken into account, and it's literally only to abide by the rules because you have to run 2 compounds in a dry race. But even that, tire wear at this track is insanely great. There's like almost never a problem with tire wear here, so be taking that into account as we get ready to watch how short qualifying gets underway here in Sochi, Russia. The Sochi Autodrome in the great country of Russia. And one of the Renaults has made their way out onto the track. Here comes the Red Bull. Here comes another Renault. So we're watching Tristan Allen and Joshua Abney go at it on the pit exit. And it's now Tyler Markle, the first driver out on the track, getting the tires warmed up. Yes, you just gotta have it. Through the chicane, getting around to the start finish line. 10 minutes remaining. So here we go, we're going on board with Tyler Markle in the Renault. And he starts his lap. Down the short chute. Into turn 1, picking up 204 miles per hour. Tyler Markle the best to go through turn 2 at Russia. Turn 2 is probably Tyler's favorite corner on the entire calendar, on the entire F1 calendar. It's probably turn 2 at this track. Because he just does so well. It's where he makes most of his overtakes, most of his advantage comes from turn 2. And I feel like if he's in a late race battle, or any battle through the race for that matter, it's going to come down to how does that other person compare to Markle in turn 2. Because Tyler Markle's getting through turn 2 like a beast, and the other person's barely getting through turn 2, Tyler Markle's gonna be gone. We have Tristan Allen stopped in sector 3. Gonna go back to teammate Tyler Markle. through the final 2 corners. A 1:34.707, the provisional pole for Tyler Merkel. We have Julian Van Buren in his first ever EWRL start. Coming around, he's going to set his first lap. First official lap in the Extreme World Racing League. He's been around for a long time. Has always thought about joining the NASCAR series. Never made the full attempt. Coming off of the final corner, 1:35.643 for Julian. Comes. Nope. Joshua Ballier in the McLaren. Or is he going to rank up against everyone else? Joshua Ballier, 1:35.532. Dan Park to the top of the chart. Provisional pole, 1:34.572 on the ultra soft compound. Troy Salter, 1:35.289. Here comes Tristan Allen. He's going to run a 1:35.013. Comes Joshua Abney to start his first time lap. He's gone pause. Don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know if he's lagging or if this is genuine. Let's just say the top 6 are separated by 1 full second. Top 5, my bad. And we still have, what, 5.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. You can see he's struggling a lot through those tight left to right hand corners. They're not chicanes, but the tight set of corners heading onto this long back straightaway. Joshua Avenue was struggling. And his lap time looks miserable. Coming out the final corner, a 1:39.077. Almost 4.5 seconds off the pace. So let's see if we can do better here. Picking up the DRS earlier. That's probably going to help. Be right back. You know, I don't know what he actually. This is Joshua Abney's first F1 start in EWRL. He's made a couple NASCAR starts. This is his first F1 start. So you have two rookies and one making their first ever start in the league. We're going to see what happens here as he comes towards the end of his lap. And it's looking better, but not much better, as the rain is starting to fall here in Sochi. And watch Darius Bell. He's got to fly around here, get a lap in before the rain starts pouring down a lot. Oh, him and Tyler Marko are going at it in qualifying. I don't know if this is the race or qualifying, but they're looks like they're not really happy with each other. And Tyler Marko, just to pit, stays in front of Darius Bell. Wow. Let's see, does Darius go on another lap? It says a 137.732. Is the rain affecting him that much? Let's see what happens here. Oh, he went wide. That might be the rain talking right there. Coming to the final seconds of the session, looks like Dan has this pole locked up by a whole 13 100ths. Unless Darius Bell on a wet track is going to be able to say anything. If he's able to do something here on this wet track, this is going to be one hell of a try. Already a second off the pace. Can he do anything? He will not get the pole. That's going to be it for Darius. Right now, Dan Park will start on the pole. For the Russian Grand Prix. Right where we expected him to be. Troy Salter qualified 5th. Bring the car to pit lane out of field. And now we have to watch him get put back in the garage stall. And we're probably going to be staying here for the next minute. So I will be right back before the start of the race. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but there towards the end, apparently Hendrick went out for an out lap after the session was over. Taking a look, there's a lot of exceeding track limits. Tyler Markle, Julian Van Buren in his first start getting exceeded track limits in qualifying. Joshua Ballier, Dan Park, Joshua Van Buren second, Darius Bell corner cutting, Tyler Markle again with exceeding track limits, and Darius Bell with exceeding track limits. But nothing affects the starting grid. That's your starting grid. Dan Park on the pole, Tyler Markle alongside of him. In third will be Joshua Ballier. No. Yes, in third will be Joshua Ballier. Fourth will be Tristan Allen. Fifth will be Troy Salter. And sixth will be Julian Van Buren. Seventh will be Darius Bell. And eighth will be Joshua Abney. So we have a stacked 4-row grid here for the start of the Russian Grand Prix. Julian Van Buren in his first EWRL start. Joshua Abney in his first EWRL F1 start. These drivers are about to take on the formation lap. And this race is about to start in the next 3 minutes. Everybody's hitting each other on the start of the formation lap. Gonna watch how Julian Van Buren takes this. Very nicely done. Very professional looking out there. So Julian Van Buren, first ever EWRL start in the Mercedes. What a bold choice. I'm gonna get ready to watch Dan Park. Look, it's time to bring the action. And it's 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go for the Russian Grand Prix in the Sochi Autodrome. Tyler Markle with a huge start down the inside of Dan Park in the McLaren. Trying to defend to the inside was a move from Joshua Ballier. Dan Park maintains the first position. Tyler Markle chasing back. A very calm start for the number of people we have and what kind of drivers we have. So now it's going to be Tyler Markle cat and mouse game between Tyler Markle and Dan Park. Joshua Ballier is going to have this whole battle right in front of him. He may take a couple jabs at Tyler when he sees his weakest points. It's too early in the race to see what each other's weakest points are. And but you, as a driver, you learn that throughout the course of a race. And Dan Park wide and hard into the wall. Tyler Markle to the race lead. One insane turn of events. The left front of that front wing, the left part of the front wing for Dan Park is gone, and it's going to be causing massive drag as he's still maintaining second. Does he pit for that? Can he maintain? Can he keep racing with that? He got super loose on the exit of the second to last corner heading onto the second DRS straight, and he just nailed the wall, but he's still maintaining second and keeping a decent pace. He just lost the first position. He's coming in the pit lane this time. The front wing on that McLaren in bad shape, and here he comes. Tyler Markle with the fastest lap of a 141.882 from the grid start of this race. See, here comes Tristan Allen looking down the inside of Joshua Ballier, but can't make the move from as far back as he was. Julian Van Buren taking the scenic route through turn 2. And it's Darius Bell and Troy Salter going at it for the 5th position. They're running each other hard. Darius Bell looking for any way he can around Troy Salter, and he stops. He almost hit the wall. Don't know what he's doing now. He'll take it back to the race lead, and he's out of here. Now we're watching Joshua Ballier under attack from Tristan Allen, teammate of race leader Tyler Markle. Julian Van Buren taking a huge lunge from far back, trying to get up the third, but does not complete the job yet. Tristan Allen is going to have his hands full. Under attack from the rookie, Julian Van Buren. Tyler Markle with the fastest lap of a 140.382 on the Ultra Soft for Renault. Tristan Allen now in defense. Taking it down the inside to defend an aggressive move from Julian Van Buren, and around he goes. Julian drove it in there, being very aggressive on the 3rd lap of this race, trying to get all he could, trying to get on the podium. And he just threw it into the side of the Renault. Tristan Allen and Tristan pretty much drove the go, and off the track goes Tristan Allen. But he was holding the car nicely. I felt like that just Julian drove it in there and lost control. Under just the heavy brake pressure and being right next to, being right on the side of Tristan Allen, so that probably had an aerodynamic disadvantage to the way that car was handling, and under heavy braking, it's just a bunch of circumstances that just caused Van Buren to spin. But rest assured, he's probably going to be back up near the front in a few. Now we go to the battle for third. Tristan Allen quickly losing spots here in Sochi. Now under attack from Troy Salter. And around goes Joshua Abney in Sector 2. Trying to do a burnout. There he goes. He's getting back going now. Dan Park with the fastest lap of a 1:39.659 on the Ultra Soft for McLaren. And the huge battles are right now Tristan in deep water with pretty much everybody in this race. He just keeps losing spots or is under attack from losing spots like almost every second of this race. We're only on lap 4. I feel like he's been probably through three battles trying all three of them defending. So now can we see any advantage that Troy has down the back straightaway? Does look to the other side of Tristan. You can't get down to make a move. From the start of the race, that is the position change. Joshua Abney's already made 2 pit stops. Dan Park's made 1. Then we watch Tristan Allen. Will he be able to defend Troy Salter long enough to make Troy use up his tires more, even though both of these drivers will only have to make 1 stop? It's now how well do you use your compound of tires? How well do you maintain the speed your tires have? Tristan Allen keeps making defensive blocks to the inside. This is Formula 1 league race. Kind of set up like an e-sport. Troy Salter gets squeezed up into the wall by Tristan Allen. The Renault now making some heavy defensive moves, trying to keep the 3rd position, which is a podium position. Down the inside comes Troy Salter. Troy Salter makes the overtake, bringing him to the 3rd position. Now 2 spots from where he started, 2 spots up of where he started. Troy Salter is the man now, really working his way through the field. He's now going to focus on chasing down Joshua Ballier in the McLaren, and then teammate to Tristan, Tyler Markle, who's leading the race right now. I'm sorry to hear. Why'd she get kicked out? Now from the chopper. Probably one of the better views this game has to offer. There's already lap traffic going to be involved here. Joshua Abney being put a lap down to the 3rd place car. Does he move over, or is he going to take a penalty and make Troy work for it, because I don't know if he quite understands the way a blue flag works. He appears to be letting him go by on the inside, but isn't giving him a clear right of way, just giving him the lane. Tristan Allen with a 3-second time penalty, pushing his luck early in the race. Lap 7, multiple warnings already from race control. Tristan Allen, 3-second time penalty, pushing really hard. And considering all the defensive moves he's been having to make, he doesn't have the speed to win this race, to be passing people. He's always getting passed at this point, and now he's pushing his luck, trying to gain speed. So it's a lose-lose for Tristan right now. He does not have the speed to win this race. I don't believe so. Not the speed or the pace. And now he's pushing his luck, trying to find any advantage on the track he can. And he's been now given multiple warnings, 3 in particular, to receive a 3-second time penalty. Oh, aren't you fun? Joshua Abney takes the wide line. Let's see if Tristan Allen was pretty much able to get around Joshua Abney. See, we don't see Joshua Ballier making real gains on Tyler Marco's lead. Dan Park, after hitting the wall on lap 1 after starting on the pole, right now is decently recovered. Right now, 6th place, 27.2 seconds back of race leader Tyler Markle. And I'm sure if Dan can gain all that back, can he go to the end on this set of Ultra Softs? I know at Sochi Autodrome, tire wear is not really a factor at this track. If anything, it's probably the best track for tire wear. The tires just do not wear here in Russia. It's a newly paved track. The layout, and Joshua Abney has left the race. While making a pit stop. So right now there's cautions in sector 3. Now caution in sector 1. A car that's retired from the race is now driving out of the pit lane. This is not great. We got a fast moving car. It's going straight off and hard into the barrier. Tyler Markle continues to lead. Here comes Joshua Ballier with the huge gains. 1.5 seconds is the gap between Tyler Markle and Joshua Ballier. It's not too late to join the league. I just have to get your PSN and everything. That's cool. I love Monaco. Yeah, I am pretty tired. How fast have I been in races? Pretty fast, I would say. We don't use setups though. Setups are not allowed. Yeah. I don't know what more to say. Let's see. Anyway, Joshua Ballier has now cut it to just over 1 second, and that is the threshold for DRS detection. You have to be within 1 second of the car in front, and we're about to get a good battle for the race lead. Does Tyler Markle have the patience, have the determination, have the skill to basically defend any overtake attempts from Joshua Ballier? And he's going to have a golden opportunity. Ballier is here on the back straightaway. He's going to get to the second DRS detection point on this racetrack. Well within 1 second of Tyler Markle. He's going to make huge gains. He might not be able to make the overtake just yet. Let's see how slipstream plays into effect here. Down the back straightaway, heading into the chicane at the end of the back stretch, so to speak. It will not be able to make any overtake attempt yet. Wasn't really able to gain anything. I'm assuming Tyler Markle got a better corner exit. was able to maintain somewhat. Half a second. Tristan Allen losing another spot. Now falling all the way down to 5th place. Now to Julian Van Buren. Now Tyler Markle is going to feel Ballier's wrath here on the front stretch. DRS detection well within 1 second. Just over half a second. Let's see what happens here. Not yet, but Tyler Merkel, this is his best corner. Does he do it better than Ballier? He does gain a little bit, but is it enough? Through turn 3, the long sweeping left-hander, and it appears that Ballier took turn 2 better than Merkel did. And now off of turn 4, down the short chute, Ballier thinks about making an overtake attempt, does not. And now lap traffic, Darius Bell, who has the car going through artificial intelligence mode. AI kind of moves out the way, even though it's you can drive through it. This is going to be Ballier's golden opportunity. He's going to be right on the gearbox of Tyler Merkel. Now onto the back straightaway. Ballier using that slipstring. DRS back wing open on that McLaren. Down the back straightaway, does Merkel have... He does somewhat defend, but Ballier was able to get to his inside the preferred line. But in the chicane, Tyler Merkel takes back the preferred line through the second part of the chicane. Is now able to continue to hold off Ballier another lap. Tyler Merkel all over the place. Not really. He was holding more of a line down the back straightaway than I thought he would have. Staying well within the rules of being able to make only one defensive move. Down the straightaway. Yes, I am. There, Joshua Ballier with the DRS makes the overtake attempt down the inside. The preferred line for Ballier. Tyler Merkel taking turn 2 so much faster than Ballier and is able to regain the race lead. Where is this going to end up? Neither of these drivers have yet to pit or have pitted yet. They, but again, tire wear is basically not a factor at this track. You just have to change your compound of tire to be within the rules. And Ballier, a huge dive to the inside. He's trying to make overtakes in places that just aren't really set up to be a decent overtake spot, but he's gonna make these. He's gonna make one of these short corners and one of these short chutes with tight corners at the end of them. He's gonna make them one of the overtaking positions. Here's a prime overtake opportunity right on the gearbox of Tyler Merkel. Tyler Merkel giving him the right side of the track. How well does he get into the chicane? Looks like he hit the wall a tiny bit. He's able to defend mostly against Ballier. I can't really see Ballier's car. Looks to be Tyler Merkel is clear of Ballier. Continuing to hold him off. And Ballier understeer off the corner. No, I guess oversteer. Never mind. Oversteer off the corner. My bad. And back onto the front shoulder. Lap 12 of 53. 42 laps remaining in the Russian Grand Prix in the Sochi Autodrome. Yes, I am American. PSN. Alright. I can add you in a second. Ballier! Beast! Move through turn 2. Caught Tyler Merkel off guard. Ballier with the better line through turn 3. The long sweeping left-hander. And now Tyler Merkel's got to be on the aggressive. He wants to keep this lead or stay in the battle for the race lead here. As Ballier may probably be most aggressive move we're going to see in a long time. Tyler Merkel, turn 2 is just Tyler Merkel's corner. Never seen anybody really outdo Tyler Merkel in turn 2. And then all of a sudden, Ballier with DRS is able to brake just enough to get the nice run into turn 2 and just shoot right through there and basically just outdo Merkel. In turn 2, that is Merkel's corner. So now can Merkel make any overtake attempt? Well, right now his focus has got to be get back to the gearbox of that McLaren, because that McLaren is setting sail even with DRS. He's opening the gap Not good news for Tyler Markle. Tyler's probably used up the stuff. Now over 1 second is the gap between Ballier and Markle, and if Markle cannot close the gap, it's about to be done deal. Tyler Markle will probably need a miracle to Ballier. Need a miracle or something to happen to Ballier for Tyler to get back into this race, because Ballier is long gone. 1.2 seconds, nowhere near a second with DRS detection right there. Not happening this lap. Tyler Markle probably just said goodbye to the race lead. Here comes Troy Salter. He's making huge gains. Does he have anything to say to Joshua Ballier? Just absolutely insane. 41 laps remaining in the Russian Grand Prix. And what a battle for the lead, and what a smart yet daring, aggressive overtake move Ballier had to make through turn 2, entering turn 3, the long sweeping left-hander. It caught me off guard, and I'm sure it caught Marco off guard. He went to the outside of the long sweeping left-hander. If he was able to hold the middle of the track, maybe he would have had a chance to defend off Ballier with the preferred line in the 4, but he wasn't able. It caught him so off guard. He went straight to the outside of the corner, and Ballier was on the inside, and he was gone. So Tyler Markle, just out of pure startlement, pure fright, he pretty much gave up the race lead and any chance he had at it. Now he is maintaining the gap to 1.1 seconds, but he really isn't gaining at this point. He's not really losing. I think it's just gonna be more or less on who can run the track better than the other. It's all about hitting the marks, hitting your braking points, hitting where you turn in perfectly. Because there really isn't any other way to do it, especially in a Formula 1 race. You just get 5-second stop and go penalty, speeding in the pit lane for Julian Van Buren in his first EWRL start. Rookie for the EWRL F1 series, rookie in EWRL, first ever start. Made an outstanding showing in qualifying and gets a speeding penalty. What a start to his EWRL racing career, not just F1 racing career. Julian Van Buren has now taken. Ballier is tiptoeing away from Tyler Markle. Markle with nothing to say. Another 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings for Julian Van Buren. The misery continues. Nothing really more to say. Dan Park, what a stellar drive, stellar comeback. Even though the race leader at one point was battling Dan Park, as I say that, speaking, what a way to jinx him. Just absolutely insane. 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings for Dan Park. Just so to say, what a select. Troy Salter, 3-second time penalty. Everybody's getting 3-second time penalties. Julian Van Buren, Dan Park, Troy Salter. Now all three of them with 3-second time penalties for multiple warnings. Let's see. I was about to say Dan Park was making a stellar comeback. He started on the pole, led through turn 9, got a huge gust of oversteer, I guess would be the way to describe it. He really lost control of the car just coming off of one of these corners. Actually, the next corner, he just right here in this corner, he just lost control of the car right there. just slammed it into the wall, lost the left part of the front wing, and it was just a random turn of events we wouldn't expect from somebody. First of all, on lap 1, from arguably probably the best driver in terms of car control in the league. Dan Park, just mistakes out of Dan Park is rare, especially in the first lap. With even leading on the first lap for Dan Park, it was just not a lot of pressure for him to make a mistake like so. But either way, he still did. He was able to pit, get a new front wing on there, and was able to continue. He was at 1.27 seconds back. Now 18 seconds back from the race lead, and now is attacking Tristan Allen for the 4th position. And Tristan Allen continues to get past here. Caution, sector 3. Julian Van Buren going around. I don't want to know if it was a puncture or he had contact. Or maybe he just lost control of the car. But anyway, back to the battle for the 4th position between Tristan Allen and Dan Park. I appreciate it. Let's see. Tristan Allen. Is he going to be able to defend from Dan Park? See, Dan, he's going to be on the aggressive, really aggressive. He's been making moves all day. Ever since the lap 1 incident, he's been driving up through the field. Here he comes, right side of Tristan Allen's car, down the inside into the chicane. Seeing how aggressive Tristan was going to be with his defensive move, he was able to back off in time and not get into any trouble. Tristan really going wide, and around he goes. He's able to keep the car straight, but Tristan Allen lost control of that car big time. Continues to not keep it on the track. Massive oversteer for Tristan Allen, and Dan Park is able to capitalize right away and continue on his merry way. He's driving back to the lead where he started the race. He has the time. He's just got to do it at this point, with making easy work of Tristan Allen, putting him under the pressure to where he would go wide and then just lose control of the car. He was on the outside of the racetrack. First of all, he was exceeding track. Julian Van Buren with the fastest lap of a 138.754 on the ultra soft compound for the Mercedes AMG F1 team. Pretty surprising accomplishment. He was able to get the fastest lap. Did not expect for possibly has the freshest tires, but he really still did not expect to have many amazing headlines about Julian Van Buren. But I mean, I never really seen the way he's really raced, so right now this is more of a showcase for Julian Van Buren. This was also a showcase for Joshua Abney, but he eventually did wreck out. What a unfortunate event it was. Joshua Ballier continues to open. Joshua Ballier, teammate to Dan Park in the McLaren, continues to open up the race lead to Tyler Markle and Troy Salter, but really isn't losing, or really isn't gaining that much time on Dan Park. In fact, he's losing to Dan because Dan is literally put on the rocket boosters. Look at the gap on the left side next to Dan's name. That is the gap between him and his teammate, who is the race leader, Joshua Ballier, in the McLaren. And it was 27 seconds a while ago. It was 18 seconds a lap ago, and Julian Van Buren with a 138.724 on the ultra soft compound for the Mercedes AMG Formula 1 team. That's pretty great. 36 laps remaining here in this Russian Grand Prix for EWRL Season 3. of the Formula One series. Does anybody have anything to say to Joshua Ballier in McLaren? Tyler Merkel tried, but was made quick work of. Tristan Allen tried and was really made quick work of. Renault has nothing to say at the moment to McLaren. McLaren is really outdoing Renault in about every aspect of this season. Just Renault can't really seal the deal with a foreseeable advantage. Oh man, lucky you. I wish I didn't, but I woke up and I had school, and I'm in drama, so I had rehearsals until 9 p.m. my time, and this race started at 10 p.m. my time. It's now 11:09 my time. It's 12:09 New York time. And yeah. Now, as we can see, Joshua Ballier has pretty much gotten into his zone, so to speak. Especially if Dan Park isn't really making any huge differences in timing. That's already unusual on its own. And that Dan Park's being held at bay, losing time to somebody. Ballier is probably hitting this track just perfectly. I didn't say you were in just yet, but I can I'd have to see how you were first, but yes. Do you have a Facebook? That'd be great if you do and you use it. Yeah, Dan Park being kept at bay is one thing. Joshua Ballier leading the race is one thing, but Dan Park being kept at bay, not gaining any time, that is something that is rarely seen. Will Tristan Allen make a comeback? We can see that Tristan really doesn't have the pace to really be driving his heart out, so to speak. He just won't be able to do anything. Dan finally cracked the 16-second bracket. That must mean Ballier's either making mistakes or Dan has stepped it up. So now it's a battle between a mental battle between teammates. Dan losing time to his teammate Ballier. I think Dan has finally hit something that's just. This track is one of the easier tracks on the circuit. Julian Van Buren has now made also easy work of Tristan Allen. Tristan not really putting up any fight, now makes his pit stop. Dan Park now working on cracking the 15-second bracket. We're gonna go around on the lap with Joshua Ballier. Let's see how this goes. Now Dan Park made his way up to third. I'm assuming that Troy Salter's pitted, but Joshua Ballier has not pitted, and the gap is now 15 seconds. That is something. When does Ballier make his pit stop? Next we're going to be watching a lap with Dan to compare. Ballier crossing the line. We're gonna go on board with Dan Park for a lap and see what the difference is. What's really happening here? Dan Park's now closed the gap 13 seconds. This is doable for Dan Park to win this race. Dan, if he's able to pull off the comeback, it'll be said of him. Just something absolutely insane. Caution sector 1. And we're gonna have Julian Van Buren and Troy Salter go at it for the 4th position. Dan Park has cracked 12 seconds. This race win for Dan Park looks doable. It's just strategy now. But even then, if he has to pit again, so Ballier still has to pit. Oh, and around goes Van Buren. And Tristan Allen's out of the race. Van Buren spun around. Tristan Allen's wrecked it. Probably a massive bit of oversteer, I would say. Probably lost it off the corner and overcorrected it into the outside retaining wall. And shocking developments here in Sochi. And there he goes. So we were just watching Troy Salter and Julian Van Buren going at it for position, and Van Buren spun around, and then here came Tristan Allen just wrecking the car. It was just an unprecedented turn of events. And Julian Van Buren has made his pit stop. Dan Park has cracked 11 seconds. The more Dan is able to crack, the more pressure Ballier probably has to be feeling mentally. Does he know? Does he feel Dan Park catching him? Still, also between Dan Park and between Joshua Ballier and Dan Park is still second place driver Tyler Markle, who he has made a couple of gains on Ballier as well. He hasn't made as much, and hasn't made enough to get up to him yet, but it's been something to take note of. Here he comes. Turn 2 is basically Tyler Markle's best corner on the track, and that's probably where he's going to be making up most of his time, as Ballier overtook Tyler Markle in turn 2. That was the shock of the race. It's just absolutely crazy. Dan Park is looking to try to crack the 10-second bracket. It's looking really doable. The more he's able to crack with the least amount of laps used. Now 10 seconds have been broken. Everything under 11 seconds. Ballier, his engineers have to be telling him he's got to pick up the pace if he's going to win this race. He's going to get beat by his teammate. And even Tyler Markle making gains now, 1.8 seconds. He can see Ballier. Ballier, Tyler Markle, Joshua Ballier and Tyler Markle can't really see Dan Park, who's making huge, impressive gains on the leader especially, but both of them. Now Dan's looking to crack 9 seconds. Here goes Joshua Ballier to pit lane. Does Dan Park double stack to follow his teammate on a set of fresh tires? No, he will stay out. Double stacking is not the way to go, Dan Park says. Not losing any more time than I can. And now the race lead is compared to Dan Park and race leader Tyler Markle, 8.2 seconds. So now can Dan make any visual gains on Tyler Markle as we had just passed the halfway point of this race? Here's the number of stops everybody's made. Tyler Markle has yet to make a pit stop. Dan Parks made one. And Julian Van Buren, fastest lap of a 137.773 on the ultra soft compound for Mercedes. But Markle's had none. Dan has had one. Troy has had one. Joshua has had one. Darius has had one. Tristan has had one. Julian Van Buren has had two. And Joshua Abney had three before he eventually just retired. I feel like that was more of a 3 strikes you're out kind of deal. Here comes Dan Park making his pit stop. Second pit stop of the day. It's where he cycles out to Joshua Ballier. It's what's going to determine this race. So now we take a look at set of tires. Julian Van Buren for 137.44A on the ultra soft compound from Mercedes-AMG. It's now the gap between Joshua Ballier and Dan Park. When does Tyler Markle pit? Because looking at strategy, he does have to pit. There's no way to avoid it. But he has he had a huge lead over Troy Salter. To be able to take advantage of that, maybe just pit without losing the league. But here he comes, Tyler Markle, the last driver to make their first pit stop of the day, lap 29. Now Troy Salter is the race leader by strategy, has a 4-second lead over Joshua Ballier. Ballier probably making the best strategy call here, with just over 10 seconds between Ballier and Markle. Once Troy Salter makes his pit stop, if he makes another pit stop, He's golden. Troy Salter continues to work its way around. 4.3 seconds is the gap. 3-second time penalty to Julian Van Buren. Can his day get any worse? So Troy Salter is making the bold strategy. He's made only one pit stop. He's in compliance with the rules. Can he make it to the end on a set of super softs? It is the more durable compound of the two used so far. Can he make it to the end? Does Troy Salter finally, in 4 starts, get his first win of the season? He should have won so many times out of the 4 races we have done this season. He should have won. Or 3 completed races. He should have won probably all 3 at some point during those. He's shown that kind of dedication, determination to win these races. He just has not been able to seal the deal. Here he is leading the race, 21 laps to go. Does he seal the deal this time? Does he start to pit? Is this strategy golden? What does he do? Because Joshua Ballier really isn't gaining on Troy. Troy should not be pressured at this moment. Especially if he knows Ballier is not gaining. Troy should still push. But not enough to make a mistake. Just drive the track. That's all he should be told. Because Ballier can't. It just is not possibly gaining on Troy Salter. Joshua Ballier, 3-second time penalty, and that ends his dreams. This track is really hard with track limits because it's so tempting to cut a corner, to ride curbs and everything. And then you just get penalized for it. It's so tempting to do so. You just gotta restrain yourself, and that's probably the best way you get around this track, restraining those curbs. Because even though this track is really helpful and honestly looks like if NASCAR had a road course, this would probably be it. If NASCAR created a road course, this would probably be it. But it's just gonna have to do for now. Almost 5 seconds. She can gain on her brother. So Troy Salter's been maintaining. That's all you're gonna have to do. 20 laps remaining this time by in the Russian Grand Prix. Going by decently quick. Maintaining the gap, that's about all you can hope and pray to do. Tyler Markle has strong showing in third. Dan Park just not able to do much more gaining in fourth because he can't really gain to Troy Salter. Not really is gaining anymore to Joshua Ballier. Julian Van Buren in this first start has had multiple penalties, multiple warnings. Plagued by bad luck as his first start, but it hasn't been all to waste. He does have the fastest lap of the race. Good to you. Whoa. Looks like Joshua Ballier and Tyler Markle are going at it? Or no, wait, never mind. Joshua Ballier was always in second. Ballier's lost more time to Troy Salter. Does Troy Salter have the tires to last? When did Troy make his pit stop compared to everybody else? Let's take a look at the race director to figure this one out. He made his pit stop on lap 23. And Joshua Ballier made his on lap 28. Those super softs at a track with tire wear not even being a factor, those super softs can make it to the end. It's all about just driving the track. Troy Salter cannot outdo the track. He's just got to drive it. That's all he's got to worry about. Five and a half seconds and continues to gain. Tyler Markle gaining on Ballier, and Ballier is now falling into the clutches of Markle when earlier it was Markle falling into the clutches of Ballier. Ballier was able to make easy work of Tyler Markle, take the lead and tiptoe away. Tyler Markle on the Ultrasoft, that is probably another reason why. Did he confine in the rule? He has to be on a second compound of tire. Take a look at Tyler Markle. Never on another compound. And Julian Van Buren never on another compound. So it's just Julian Van Buren and Tyler Markle have yet to pit for another compound of tire. This time by coming around to what should be 17 laps to go, and Dan Park, massive oversteer. 3-second time penalty. Tyler Markle. Depression kicking in. Now the top 3 all have 3-second time penalties, so it's not, at this case it doesn't even matter. It's still all about what the gap can be. And does Troy Salter have the patience and have the car and the tire to maintain a 5-second lead for 15 laps, 16 laps this lap? 16 laps to go in Vassoci Autodrome Russian Grand Prix. You know, this is Troy Salter's 4th start in EWRL's F1 series. Not his. It's also his first EWRL start, but it's not his first league race. Obviously, he's been around racing for a while. A very casual NASCAR fan, but never failed to impress. Anywhere he went, he was always really just a likable guy that you can always kind of root for. And in a sense, you would say he's the people's champion, this NASCAR fans would refer to Chase Elliott with. The people's champion. He just doesn't do anything to not be liked, and he's able to help everyone out and everything. And so you just always kind of gravitate towards pulling for him to win when you don't think he really might be. You feel like it's going to be a Chase Elliott where he's going to do it all season long and fail to win a single race. I doubt you fought that. I mean, it's an amazing team and everything. Now 15 laps to go. Can Troy hold on? Now Ballier has been able to make very, very minor gains in the gap between him and Salter. Ballier and Salter for the top spot. It's very minimal. Nothing Troy Salter should honestly worry about. He opens it back up. Troy Salter's just got to be driving the track. Can't be under pressure from somebody he can't even see in his mirror. Because honestly, this track, it's not a hard track. You just always have to be on your A game. You have to be hitting the marks every corner, every lap. Now coming around this time, 14 laps to go. It's probably going to be the most important 14 laps of Troy Salter's life. If he's going to be able, if he can hang on, maintain this position. Julian Van Buren making another pit stop from the 5th position. This time 13 to go. Troy Salter is on a baby hunt. He's got to weed him out. He's going to be cradling his car these last laps, just getting it to the finish. He's still not really losing time to Ballier, to the point where Tyler Markle is going to be closing the gap to Ballier, and this could be a battle which is really going to help out Troy Salter. So if Dan Park wants to get in it, it could be a 3-car battle for the second position. And that's what Troy Salter wants, if he can make it to the end. I'm gonna strongly assume that you can, because tire wear is almost non-existent. He pitted just about halfway through the race, so he complies with rules. Tyler Merkel has yet to follow the rule of pitting for another set of another compounded tire. Julian Van Buren just did. So now, when does Tyler Merkel pit for his next set of super softs if he's trying to comply with the rule? Dan Park, 3-second time penalty. Oh man. Now nobody gaining on Troy Salter yet, giving him more and more braving room. It's just hovering at 5 seconds, and that's what he likes to see. This time that'll be 12 laps remaining, and it's 2 McLarens and a Renault on the exact same short chute. These 3 are going to start battling, and it's going to, if this race continues under the green flag conditions and Troy Salter is able to finish this race on the set of tires he has, this is looking very positive for Troy Salter. Does Tyler Merkel pit anytime soon so he can get another set of tires to comply with the rules? And another 3-second time penalty awarded. This one to Julian Van Buren again. Now the gap between Troy Salter and Joshua Ballier has closed a little bit now, 4.5 seconds. Ballier maybe just put it to Rich, trying to close him down, or just open the gap to Tyler Merkel. Don't know what the deal is, but Troy may be in for a nice surprise if Tyler Merkel can't get to Ballier before Ballier gets to Troy, and he's Ballier now on this section of the track is losing time to Salter. Here comes Merkel and Park. And Julian Van Buren with a 137.350 on the super soft compound per Mercedes with the fastest lap. 11 laps remaining here in the Russian Grand Prix. 4.5 seconds is the lead between Troy Salter, in position to take his first win of his EWRL racing career, his first F1 win of the season, first F1 win of his career. That's what he's looking for. Joshua Ballier trying to play spoiler. Tyler Merkel, Dan Park bringing up the rear, 3rd and 4th. Who wants the last 2 spots on the podium if these 3 aren't able to catch up to Troy Salter? Just now 4.3 tenths of a second. Hey Brendan, tuning in to the end of my F1 league race. We started about 45 minutes late, so that was on my bad. But you're watching the end now. 10 laps remaining here in the Russian Grand Prix. Second, third, and fourth may be starting to battle for position here, which may put Troy Salter, your race leader, in a position to win this race. Does the set of tires he have make it to the end of this race? Tyler Merkel still has to pit per rule. He has yet to put on another compound of tire. In order for your finish to be classified without penalty, you have to put on at least two different compounds of tires, and all Tyler Merkel has done. All Tyler Merkel has done is pitted for Ultra Softs. I have decided to just broadcast this season since I literally can't do much, and also commentating is more of my thing anyway. But yeah, I literally chose not to race this season. So Troy Salter is loving this. He can't physically see it, but he's probably being told Tyler Merkel, Dan Park. Actually, if Tyler Merkel and Dan Park, that kind of clears things up again for Ballier to try to make another dash for Troy Salter. Yeah, I don't think I'm really that good at F1 to be showcasing my driving anymore, and I honestly love commentating. Like, I am drop dead tired. As soon as this race is over, I'm probably gonna go fall asleep, but I'm here, I'm commentating. That's just what I enjoy doing. I'd rather be asleep right now, but anyway, 4.5 seconds is the gap. Everybody in the top 4 has a 3-second time penalty, so still, that if everybody in the top 4 has a 3-second time penalty, all that goes out the window still. Julian Van Buren in 5th place, 1 lap down. As long as he finishes this race, he'll be good to go. In his first ever EWRL start and first ever EWRL F1 start. Troy Salter, 4.5 seconds is the gap between him and Ballier. Ooh, Dan Park now getting into the gearbox of Tyler Merkel. This time by will be 8 laps remaining. And we got a battle for the final step of the podium. Who wants this one more? Dan Park started on the pole. Got oversteer lap 1 and put it into the wall, losing the left part of his front wing. Set him back about 30 seconds. Drove through the field, making the comeback now 7.5 seconds. It can't be a full comeback and win just yet, if he'd be able to do so. But 7.5 seconds from almost 30 seconds back is pretty respectable. And I'm sure he doesn't want to just leave this race without something to remember from it, because I feel like starting on the pole and making the comeback for 20 seconds, 20 full seconds in racing, wouldn't be just enough. If he wants a little bit more credit, I feel like a 3rd place step on the podium would do just that justice for Dan Park. But he's now got to re-chase down Tyler Merkel. Down the straightaway, DRS back wing enabled on Tyler Merkel's car from DRS from Joshua Ballier and Dan Park. Troy Salter's got to be loving this, and Tyler Merkel still has yet to make another pit stop for not using a second compounded tire. Let's just double check again that Tyler Merkel has yet to use another compounded tire this race. Ultra softs all the way through. Another 3-second time penalty for Julian Van Buren. Buren. Oh my god. 5 seconds is the gap between Troy Salter and Joshua Ballier. But 5.8 is the gap between Troy Salter and Tyler Merkel. Tyler Merkel and Joshua Ballier, if they go at it, this could be it. Does Merkel have anything for Ballier? Joshua Ballier right now tied for the top of the wins list. A win here today would put him one on top. But right now it looks like he's going to be remaining tied as Tyler Merkel is going to be going to battle with Joshua Ballier. Down the inside, Ballier makes the move. Earlier in the race, it was Merkel losing a spot to Ballier through that same move. Here comes Dan Park. Merkel was trying to pass Ballier, was not fully able to complete it, and Dan was able to take full advantage of it. And this battling Troy Salter, smiling if he's able to finish this race in that current position. And now Dan Park, he's got his podium step. Now he's got to defend it or try to go even higher. But no, another 3-second time penalty. That may be it for Dan Park. But this race isn't over. Somebody else in this top three can also get another 3-second time penalty, putting Dan right back in the game. It all depends what happens here. This time by 5 laps remaining in a Russian Grand Prix. Teammates Joshua Ballier, Dan Park, second and third. Tyler Merkel hanging tough in fourth. All of this happening behind the man from New Zealand, making his 4th start in EWRL. 5 laps remaining. And it's a 6-second gap between Troy Salter and these three. Does Dan make the overtake to the left side? Ballier doesn't defend hard. Dan with the preferred, not the preferred line. Joshua Ballier with the preferred line, but Dan with the nice shot through turn 2. Can Dan chase down Troy Salter? Troy Salter does not want Dan to chase him down. Obviously, I couldn't imagine him wanting to, but does Troy Salter have enough tire? All he's got to do is keep Dan to a maximum of 1 second per lap. Because if he keeps him to a maximum of gaining 1 second per lap on Troy Salter, he won't have enough time. But Dan is catching. So it's a cat and mouse game. If Dan Park is able to pull off this comeback and win this race, boy, it is going to be something. 5.5 seconds is the gap. Troy Salter, 4 laps remaining this time by. Dan Park, if he wants to win this race, he's got to be perfect and even more. He's got to push the car to its limit on weak tires. Tyler Merkel, another 3-second time penalty. As I said, it would put Dan right back in the mix, but no longer an issue. Riding second place now, chasing down Troy Salter, trying to win this race. 4 laps remaining, 4.9 tenths of a second. Oh, Troy is now clenching. Probably he is clenching in the seat of that car, knowing that Dan Park, full head of steam, is rushing up the rear. Does Dan have the time, though? That's the only question. Does Dan have the time to catch and pass Troy Salter? So now we watch patiently. This time it will be 3 laps to go. It's now 4.5 seconds. The gap between Troy Salter and Dan Park. 4.3 seconds. Is it raining at the end of this race? Can they go on these set of dry tires to the end of this race? This time it will be 3 laps to go. Who has better car control on a wet track? Does the track get wet enough to use rain tires? This time by 3 laps to go for Troy Salter. 4.2 seconds is the gap between him and Dan Park. Dan, driving his heart out, has not made a gain in about half a lap. Losing time to Troy Salter now. Who has better car control on a wet track? If it gets to that point, they still have another good 5 minutes to race here in Sochi. 4.5 seconds now to gap. Four seconds flat, the gap between Salter and Dan. Salter and Dan Park. 4 seconds. Don't think he'll have enough time to catch and pass him. But it was one hell of a try. It's not over yet though. 2 laps to go. Anything can happen. The track is starting to get wet. Do either of these drivers spin out? Who has better car control? 3.9 seconds. Troy Salter, all he does is dirt rally. He has a bunch of hard to control driving experiences. 2 laps to go. 4 seconds is the gap. Can Troy Salter hang on? And Tyler Merkel has pitted to put on a set of super softs to comply with the rule. And Tyler Merkel's finish will not have any classification problems. Four seconds to gap. Still coming towards the end of his lap, and he goes off, and he's crashed it! Dan Park to the race lead. Heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak. Trouble under braking for Troy Salter. Wow. Did that just happen? Wow. Well, on the last lap of the Russian Grand Prix, Dan Park, your race leader by 4 seconds over Troy Salter, battling tough with Joshua Ballier, gives up the spot knowing DRS is disabled. The track is wet enough for rain tires on the final lap of the Russian Grand Prix. But anyway, Joshua Ballier, or Troy Salter gives the spot easy to Joshua Ballier, knowing he has got a broken wing. He's just going to maintain podium finish if he can just bring the car back to the finish line. This race is not over, though. Dan could make a mistake. You now watch Dan. He made a mistake on the first lap of this race. The very first lap. He started on the pole and coming to the back straightaway. He got a massive oversteer, spun the car and slammed into the wall, losing the left front of the wing. He going drifting into the chicane. Track is very wet. Just gotta tiptoe through the final few corners. Dan Park into the second to last corner. Maintaining the car control. Final corner. Dan Park is yet again an EWRL F1 winner. Dan Park wins the Season 3 Russian Grand Prix. Joshua Ballier comes home second. Troy Salter comes home third. Tyler Markle comes home fourth after an insane turn of events. I'm just not believing this is how that went down. The podium celebration. Dan Park on the top step. Joshua Ballier second, and Troy Salter third. And here's your finishing results. Dan Park, 9 seconds worth of time penalties. Joshua Ballier, 6. Troy Salter, 6. Tyler Markle, 6. Julian Van Buren, 17. And Tristan Allen, 3. Wow. I'm just shocked. Absolutely shocked. Anyway, thanks for watching the EWRL Season 3 Russian Grand Prix. We hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.